Hey everybody, you're watching We the Fandom, where we discuss comic books, pop culture, and the fandom experience. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more content. How's it going everybody? Jacob here at We the Fandom, and in today's video, I'll be reviewing episode 2 of the Book of Boba Fett, titled The Tribes of Tatooine. So if you remember in the last episode, Boba Fett was established as being the Daimyo of Mos Espa, and based off of some of the dialogue, I am now less sure how much territory, whether it be on or off planet, that Boba Fett is actually in charge of. But, operating on that lack of knowledge, Boba already has someone contesting his claim to Jabba's far more territory. And we partially learned this from that assassin from the last episode. Fennec Shand kept one of the assassins alive and brought them to Boba's palace, I guess is what we're calling it now. At first he doesn't talk to them, but then they throw him into the Rancor pit, and he tells them that the mayor sent him. Now for those fans wondering if we'd see a Rancor, we can now say that there is no Rancor. After that one from the Return of the Jedi died, it seems like they never got a new one. But this assassin didn't even wait to see if there was one, he just saw the door start to open and gives up the name. Though we later figure out this was probably false information, because Boba and Fennec go to the mayor's office, and at least he learned his lesson this time. Walking through the city, they actually brought guns. But it's kind of funny when they get into the building, because when they go in, it reminded me of the TVA from Loki. You know, you see Loki and this guy's a threat. You know, Boba Fett is a threat. But then you have them both having to face this, lame secretary asking if he has an appointment. But Boba just goes into the mayor's office. We learn that the assassin is a member of the Order of the Night Wind who work for the Hutts. And this is where, again, I feel like the Star Wars writers either don't know Boba Fett or just don't like what he is. Because in reality, Boba Fett should have come in guns blazing, busting heads, held the mayor at the point of a gun. But instead of getting to the bottom of this situation, he gets sent to Garza's bar, where he again is pointed towards someone else. Leading to, in my opinion, the coolest scene in the episode, where we meet two of Jabba's cousins, called the Twins, who came to contest Boba's claim to the territory. They even brought Black Chrysanthemum, who, at least I think that's how it's pronounced, but he's a character from the Star Wars comics, a Wookiee, and I believe he first appeared in the first issue of Karen Gillan's Darth Vader run. He worked alongside Boba Fett for a time as a bounty hunter, hunting for Luke Skywalker. Obviously, he wasn't created until recently, which is why we didn't see him in the original trilogy. Boba even jabs at him a little bit, referencing his time as a gladiator. The twins I'm not sure about. They're not named, and I'm not sure if they come from any canon or Legends media. Though in Legends, it was actually Jabba's father, Zorba the Hutt, that claimed his territory after his death. Whereas here, obviously, they switched him out with two cousins of Jabba. But despite the threats from Black Chrysanthemum and the Hutts, Boba doesn't back down, leading to there being no real resolution. But that's a good thing. This was definitely not the most exciting scene even in the show so far, but it did lay the seeds for some really cool stuff to come down the line. And it answered my hope from my review of the first episode that we get to see some of the underworld characters from Boba's past face off against him. The rest of the episode is more flashbacks of Boba's time with the Tuscan Raiders. After he had fallen into their good graces, they started to train him in the use of the gaffy stick, the effective but also ceremonial weapon of the Tuscans. In turn, he gives them a motorcycle training course and helps them take down a spice train, forcing a criminal syndicate to pay a toll to the Tuscans. And after having done so much for them, the Tuscan Chief gifts Boba with a lizard. A lizard that he either swallows or inhales, I'm still not really sure. But I do believe the lizard goes into his brain and gives him this kind of spiritual experience. It's basically like a living drug. So he goes out into the desert to go through his personal journey, and T'Challa goes to a tree where he has a vision of his father. Boba goes to a tree where he has a vision of his father. Since within the canon, we don't really know a whole lot about Boba's past, the visions didn't really have a lot to offer, but there was a symbolic breaking from his past by him literally breaking a tree branch, which he brings back to the tribe and was taught how to turn that branch into his own gaffy stick. They even gave him some Jedi-looking robes. I joke, but this was actually similar in some ways to the Jedi trials, because he'd been trained, he faced a physical challenge followed by a spiritual challenge, after which he built his own lightsaber, gaffy stick. And now, accepted as a Tuscan Raider, they basically have a dance party at the end. Now this was better than the last episode, but not by much. I am hoping we get away from the Tuscans now, as I'd like to see more time spent in the present if we're not going to get to see Boba's time as a bounty hunter. I am really excited to see Boba Fett face off against Black Chrysanthemum. That should be a really cool fight. Hopefully we don't have to wait until the finale. Something that I found interesting about this episode was that despite the point of this series being to have Boba Fett reinvent himself, it seems more and more like he's being treated like a bounty hunter instead of a ruler, which I'm fine with. Maybe by the end of this series, Boba will in fact just go back to being a bounty hunter. I'm also curious if they're going to have this tie into the sequel trilogy in any way, as in those movies we never heard anything about Boba Fett, as I'm pretty sure at that point they didn't have any plans to bring him back. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on a new video. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.